The Nets get just their third win in their last 16 games, but it's a big one over the Milwaukee Bucks. Here's Kyrie following that season-high 38. Let's start with that final question, because how big of a deal do you think it's going to be come the postseason if that vaccine mandate is indeed still in place, even though, according to Stephanie Reddy the other day in her report live with us, she said they're expecting it to be lifted in about 2 weeks. But let's say it's the postseason and it's still in place. How will that affect the Nets in their championship hopes?
It's huge. I mean, you miss a guy that gives you 38, 5-5, like a guy that can obviously flat out win games with just his talent alone and matched up with Kevin Durant. You can't rethink with Kevin Durant and all the players. It's just one of those things where you're better, much better with Kyrie Irving.
And if it's to happen, dude, you got to remember, you're gonna probably be a 7-8 seed, so you're not gonna have home court advantage. So now he misses 4 games if you get deep in the series. So that's how important it is for him to be able to play. So if he's not able to go, and I think that's another reason they probably picked up Gordon Dragic, just in case, to have another guard in place if Kyrie's not able to play every game come playoff time. But it'd be huge.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point, just in making sure you have the insurance if Kyrie Irving. Now, let's say he is. How do you like the Nets' chances if you have, let's say, Ben Simmons as well, right? Because you're still waiting for him to take the floor. Healthy KD and Kyrie, from what we've seen against this Bucks team, getting a win against them, the defending champs, when they have their big three on the floor.
Well, they get healthy, and they're in that 7th, 8th spot. I would not want to be the Miami Heat, the Chicago Bulls, the Milwaukee Bucks. That's not the team you want to play in the first round of the playoffs with a healthy group. So if they're healthy, they have just as good a chance as anybody in the Eastern Conference of coming out the East. When you're talking about Kyrie and KD, when you talk about those two guys healthy on top of their game, they can go deep into the playoffs. So if they're healthy, sky's the limit how far they can go. This is a matter of getting everybody on the court, and if they can do that in a timely fashion.
For the Bucks, Smitty, is this one that you kind of look at and you go, man, how do we allow this to happen, again, without Kevin Durant on the floor and without Ben Simmons on the floor and Kyrie being the lone star, if you will, on the court?
Well, it's been an interesting season for Milwaukee. They just haven't had any consistency. I think they've had some guys out. Brook Lopez has been huge for them as far as a guy that they've been missing. He does a lot for them. He has size, he can rebound, but also he can stretch it. And yes, Bobby Portis has played well, but I think for the Milwaukee Bucks, they need their total package back. Not sure when Brook Lopez has come back. Serge has helped. They are going to have to start to put it together in the next 2 or 3 weeks to make sure they can get into some rhythm where they can go out and feel good about getting wins against the top teams in the Eastern Conference.
Well, the NBA on TNT has a great doubleheader lined up for you on Tuesday. The Red Hot Celtics host.
State Farm is there.
Brooklyn Nets, Milwaukee Bucks, a rematch of playoff series last year. And Bruce Brown, part of a 13-4 Nets run to take the 2-point lead. And look at the performances we're seeing. Bobby Portis has made 8 threes. He's got 30 and 12. Kyrie Irving, 33, 5, and 5. And Giannis, right on his averages. Think about that. Averages 27, 13, and 6 for Giannis. Of course, he averages 29, second leading scorer in the league. But Andre Drummond, too. We were just saying how great of a pickup that was for Brooklyn. 16, 12, and 5 for him, 7 for 10 from the field. And this is the kind of game against Milwaukee size where he has an impact.
Yeah, I think so. I love the match with the Brooklyn Nets. The reason why is you don't have to run a straight post up for him. You can run pick and roll. He has good hands, good feel. He can slide his feet defensively, but he eats glass and he takes up space. And I think it's going to even be better. You get to see Drummond have some real explosive nights when you have Kevin Durant in there. There's more space for him. And so I think Andre Drummond, the youth, the size, I'm worried about Brooklyn's size and defense. But now you got Drummond, you got Ben Simmons. I think they've cleared all that up, the things I was worried about. They just haven't played together, Twan.
Yeah, and Drummond's great for them because now when he was in Detroit, he was called to be a scorer. Now he can do what he does best, rebound, get putbacks, be a high-energy guy. and he fits into what they're trying to do moving forward in the future. Hopefully, they're going to be able to sign him to a contract and keep him there for a couple years. He could be a great center for them. Blake Griffin and Marcus Aldridge are kind of towards the end of their career, much older. Now you got a younger big to go alongside with Claxton, and now you got two young bigs to go along with that core of obviously Durant, Ben Simmons and KD. So they headed in the right direction.
Big defensive play. There it is. Now, you said it, too. No Kevin Durant, no Ben Simmons. Theoretically, the best defensive player on their team in Ben Simmons. And obviously, if not the best offensive player in the league, Kevin Durant, not on the floor. So if you're in Milwaukee, you're kind of going, oh, man, this is a close one without those guys.
But this is what Milwaukee's season's been. I was saying this earlier, is that they're inconsistent. They take nights off like this, games they're supposed to win, especially at home. You got to take care of business. But we also got to remember Brooklyn's starving right now. They're starving for a win. So you got to figure you're going to get a great effort from them, and Kyrie's having one of those nights. We all know he's very capable of having a 35, 40-point night. He's got 33 points already. So this is one of those nights by Kyrie. But this is the mistake that Milwaukee's making, I think, because losses like that gets you the 4 seed, where you can be at the 1 seed. And I just think this is where you don't get complacent. I know they believe they can go anywhere and win, but you want to still take care of business and try to still finish this thing out, especially when you're the champs.
Yeah, the last game of the night that we have, West Coast, Sacramento and Denver. Of course, the Denver Nuggets trying to shoot up the Western Conference standings. They've won 4 in a row, 6 of their last 7. And what we're seeing is part of like the